So I wanted to come in and at least start to educate the industry about how marketing works, how branding works, how sales works, and how that all ties in together.
Having to get on a call with someone and they're like, I just wasted $5,000, I wasted $10,000, wasted $30,000 and nothing back.
You're not going to be able to generate a ton of leads consistently from just referrals just because they're not consistent. Especially in marketing, you cannot do that because think about designing campaigns, setting up campaigns, launching campaigns, measuring results, having meetings, getting feedback. On the organic side, absolutely not. And especially if you're running ads on that website, hell no. Because if you do that, there's a conversion problem because you're sending traffic to a shitty website that nobody wants to look at. People don't understand what's going on there. Obviously, I'm not saying like, hey, wait 6 months and then something will happen. Just wait, just burn like thousands of dollars and then just hope and pray. No. By the way, we're in 2026. So for those of you who still think that social media sucks, good luck to you.
Hey, I'm Carl, your host of Beyond the Toolbox, and today I'm here with Nazar. He runs The Roofing Marketer, Tegra Design, Escape Ads, and Eye Care Marketer, but we're going to talk about Roofing Marketer first. Just please introduce yourself and just let us know how you even manage 4 businesses, because that's crazy to me.
Well, it's always crazy at the start. Thanks for having me, Carol. So yeah, I do have a few businesses. People know me as The Roofing Marketer, and I also have another business called Tegra Design. I started The Roofing Marketer about 3 years ago, just because I saw that there's a gap in marketing in the roofing industry specifically. And Tegra Design's been around for about 10 years now. We primarily work with coaches, consultants, and agencies in that business. We run webinars for these people. That's basically it.
By gap in the market, do you mean like bad apples in there?
Well, I don't want to speak ill of others, but I think that, roofers, they're, primarily sort of, I feel like they're the backbone of the economy because, they're in home services. If you don't have a roof, you don't have a home, you're in trouble because you want shelter to protect you as a person, as a human being. So these folks, they're primarily blue collar. They might not be the literary professor type of person or, techie person, but they understand business. What I would say in terms of a gap is like the understanding of marketing. So for example, they don't necessarily like to talk about Google ads or Facebook ads or pay-per-click or these kinds of things on a regular basis. So I wanted to come in and at least start to educate the industry about how marketing works, how branding works, how sales works, and how that all ties in together. So I started doing webinars. I still do with roofers every single month. I started bringing them on my podcast to talk about the industry, to learn more about the industry, and to also share what's going on, current trends and whatnot. So that was really my vision. And then obviously service them in terms of providing, digital marketing services for them that bring in leads and then grow their business.
Okay, and I didn't want to say gap in the market in terms of bad guys. I don't want to talk bad of anyone, and I think you've done an amazing job educating people, bringing them on. I would recommend that y'all check out Nazar on LinkedIn and Instagram. I haven't checked your Instagram. I hope you got content on there too. I'm sure you do.
Yeah, we do. All the social channels, every single one.
Perfect. By that, I wanted to also dig into what would you recommend a contractor watch out for? Because it breaks my heart having to get on a call with someone and they're like, I just wasted $5,000, I wasted $10,000, wasted $30,000 and nothing back. What can people spot before they begin to not get burned? Do you have any recommendations?
Same old story. I hear this every single day, every single week. Obviously I'm talking to roofers, contractors daily. 2 things I would recommend contractors, or roofers, or just home services guys in general is 1, before you work with someone, understand that marketing doesn't happen overnight. So there's got to be some set expectation that is realistic from your end. And then the expectations set from the marketing agency or the marketer should also have some sort of a plan, maybe a 3-month plan, a 6-month plan. Can't just be like, oh, okay, we're gonna try and run some ads for you and hopefully it sticks. They should be able to articulate the kinds of SEO tactics, the type of website. Why should that website have X number of pages? How is that going to help you generate more business? So the marketing agency also should take the ownership. If they're able to articulate that in a very radar level, you shouldn't have to worry about going through all these fancy jargons and terminologies to understand what your marketing will look like. That's the first step. And then obviously look at maybe if they have references, maybe if they have reviews, maybe they have testimonials. If they have content, that's a good indicator that they are seriously taking their business and they're just not some fly-by marketer that's just going to take your money for a couple of months and then run away. So work with a company that actually cares about their reputation, because then they will care about yours.
Okay, so not huge promises, kind of a track record, or at least the ability to express that they know what they're talking about, which I know you talked a moment ago about paid ads, website, SEO. Like, what's that order of operations look like? If you have a 6-month plan with someone, what would you want to develop in what order?
It depends on the business, because not everybody is looking to spend money on the get-go, meaning maybe they're not looking at a trajectory of growth where they're going to scale really, really fast, let's say in the next 6 months or the next 12 months. You're not going to be able to generate a ton of leads consistently from just referrals just because they're not consistent.
Sure.
And they could depend on like the seasonality and the storms and weather patterns. But you can scale pretty fast with ads given that you have a plan and not just throwing money into the problem. So it depends on the company. So some companies will just want to scale gradually and they'll do SEO and they'll want to see growth in the next 4 to 6 months. So that's one way to do it. Some companies will do both. They'll do SEO, they'll do paid ads. It really depends on the risk tolerance and the vision of that company, because you're not just going to come in and sweep all the business in the market that's out there just because you're the greatest roofer in town. Like, nobody cares. Nobody knows you. So you gotta have to give it some time, but also make sure that whoever you're working with, not only do they have a track record, but they also have a plan for you. So they should be able to meet with you once a month. They should be able to be available real time. Like, all of our clients, like, we're literally 24/7. Like, my team's 24/7. Somebody's messaging us at 10 p.m. at night. Somebody's there to respond. So the accessibility is very important, because roofing's a high risk, high reward type of business where you could be spending money and losing opportunities unless, not just lead generation, but there's follow-up systems, automations, AI engines built in the back end to take care of all that. So the client should be able to get a hold of you, of your marketing agency, literally every day, even on the weekends. If you're not, then that's a problem. Then you should not be hiring them. So set those expectations from day one and make sure that they're able to fulfill on it. Maybe have a contract with them. Also, one more thing I should say, we don't do any long-term contracts. And I'm not saying that no one can't. I honestly believe that if you're able to produce as a service provider month after month and give people that level of transparency, then they will stick around for a long time. So my clients, at least a couple of years minimum. The only time that they would leave is when they want to take their marketing in-house, which is great, awesome. Or if they want to go a different direction for whatever reason, or maybe they've shut down business, maybe they've retired. So why should you have to tie someone into a long-term contract? That's my firm belief. So when I talk to roofers, I tell them that, hey, when you work with us, you don't necessarily have to do a long-term contract. It's month to month. You could hate me in a couple of months and just, cut ties. Obviously, we don't want that. The marketing agency that a roofing company or a contractor works with should have to prove themselves every single week, every single month in order to do business with them.
So no huge, I'll get you the moon for free. No long-term contracts, and they should obviously be paying themselves off routinely. Of course, I think 90 days is a great amount to start with. I mean, I don't know. Do you agree with me on that one?
Yeah, absolutely. Even with SEO, 90 days is a good runway, because nothing can be planned for a month. Especially in marketing, you cannot do that, because think about designing campaigns, setting up campaigns, launching campaigns, measuring results, having meetings, getting feedback. That has to be built from scratch. And every business, even though I am in roofing, I do marketing with roofing businesses, every roofing business is different. Some people want to do suburbs, some want to do metropolitan areas, some want to do residential, some want to do commercial. Even within residential, we want to focus on storms, we want to focus on insurance, we want to focus on retail. There is 1,000 different combinations of ways that people want to target their audience or their customers. So it's not basically a one-size-fits-all solution. So that's why, because it's custom tailored to your business, your roofing company or contracting business, you need to be able to give that company the time to produce. Obviously, I'm not saying hey, wait 6 months and then something will happen. Just wait, just burn thousands of dollars and then just hope and pray. No, work with them, keep them honest and make sure that they produce every single month. And if the results aren't there, then ask questions. questions like what's going on. Make sure the expectation that they set aligns with the results that have been produced for you.
100%. And if I could give a personal antidote, I remember working with the company. We want to do 90 days. And first month, it was rough. Second month, it was a little bit better. Third month, it was like all the leads, all the appointments came in on the third month, and then it went off. It was a lot better like that. So that's why I'm also a big believer in the 90 days. But I know you mentioned websites. Can someone get away with like a cheap template? Because another antidote, I remember seeing this really large company down in Florida, huge company. I knew they were a huge company. To put light terms, it wasn't a great website. Do you think they can get away with it? Or do you think they have to have like the location pages, more infrastructure around it? Or do you think someone can get away with like a little template?
On the digital side, no. If you're trying to build online presence, your SEO presence, your rankings, your leads, on the organic side, absolutely not. And especially if you're running ads on that website, hell no. Because if you do that, there's a conversion problem because you're sending traffic to a shitty website that nobody wants to look at. People don't understand what's going on there. There's no call to actions. There's no design element. There's no brand story. Like there's no story that tells your story. Obviously, it may sound biased because I do website design for roofing companies or even other smaller businesses. But think of it this way. If there was a website that you landed on that doesn't really give you the information that you're looking for, file your claim or apply for financing, or if you're in a certain suburb area and displays your city, like that automatically resonates with you. You trust that person or that company that, okay, well, I'm in the right place. So obviously you're going to have a higher conversion rate. It's common sense. But there are companies like you mentioned, Carol, that have built their entire business off of door knocking. Because I mean, in roofing, not in all home service businesses, but in roofing, door knocking is very, very common. So people will go door knock, but then door knocking is also not free. 90% of my clients do door knocking, but then they also do SEO, they do paid ads, they do PPC. So it just depends on that business, which direction they want to go. But yeah, to your initial question, can they get away with the not so great website? Sure, they can, but it's not going to help them build their business long term. Maybe they want to exit at 15, 20, 30 million, whatever. There's a lot of private equity companies are buying up roofing companies. They're going to want to see SOPs. They're going to want to see digital presence. They want to see your followers. They want to see all these things, these non-tangible assets that you have online, which by the way, we're in 2026. So for those of you who still think that social media sucks, good luck to you, because I personally didn't care about social media up until 3 or 4 years ago. To all those guys, I just say, yeah, good luck, because it's going to bite you sooner than later. We're not just in the social media era, we're in the AI era, and things are going to move so freaking fast. If you're not setting yourself up infrastructurally in 2026, in 3 to 4 years, you're going to vanish. Like you're just going to disappear in the thin air.
I know too many companies who still schedule on notebooks, and no ill will. I don't want to say that, but it's sad to see because it's like, I know what's coming, but I can't force you to jump on a CRM, which you talked about AI automations or like AI infrastructure and also helping them out in the back end. Have you guys seen any good solutions that AI could, problems that AI could plug into, if that kind of makes sense?
Yeah, so it depends on the scale of systems. Again, I like to say that try not to automate things that don't need to be automated, but then automate things that you do at scale repetitively that take up a lot of time that can be automated. Like for example, follow-ups, easy thing to automate. You get the person's information and the system sends out text messages and emails for you, lead nurture for you. You don't have to do that manually. In fact, you even can't. It's impossible to keep track of hundreds and thousands of customers. So that you can automate. I mean, there's so many applications of AI. Most people think that, oh, okay, you're using AI to generate a set of answers to questions that you're asking. It's not a chatbot. It's more than that. So for example, we use it on our business to generate frameworks for content, for video content. And it actually gives us the breakdown of what types of content, what goes viral, what types of hooks, pretty much the entire thing. So that's one example. For roofing companies specifically, I would say AI can help you build out dashboards that show you what amount of leads are coming in, what percentage of those are closing, just basically aggregate the data for you so you're able to easily make decisions daily. It will basically make it very easy for you to understand where your business is heading or where it's not heading for that matter. So yeah, I mean, there's many different applications of AI. AI. We've automated a bunch of our processes. This is for my other business, Tegra Design. So when we send invites, some people, about 0.001% of people unsubscribe. Could we automate that? Could we have a bot read through all the unsubscriptions? By the way, someone could unsubscribe saying, unsubscribe, remove me, I don't like this, stop doing this, whatever it is. So to catch all those variations, we could use an AI. But then we tried to do that. It was using up so many AI credits. It was costing an arm and a leg, and it was like overkill. So I'm like, hey, how many times do we even get unsubscription requests? Barely. Let's not even do that because it doesn't make sense. So you have to understand the use case and make sense of it before you implement it. Just because you think that something could be automated or something could be managed by AI doesn't mean that it has to be. Especially in the home service business, what I see most people don't want to do is have AI take calls for them. They don't like it because immediately when someone calls, if they can understand that it's AI, it just breaks that human touch, and then they want to hang up. They're like, yeah, we don't care about that. Our sales reps are happy to take the call. We have a big team. Or like, even if they don't have a big team, we can set up systems where they get a text message, they get an email, they get an instant call. So even if they miss the call, within seconds, they can call them back because we're sending them text on their phone. So yeah, that's the use case where AI doesn't need to. Yeah, some companies talk big about, oh, AI can make your phone call. Does it sound natural? Because what if they
Right.
curveball question, and then how's the AI? Oh yeah, wait, let me look into that for you. And then that person's like, nah, I'm not talking to you. You're dumb. So then they're gonna hang up. So it's a hype. It's not something that is applicable to every scenario, but you have to be aware of it.
100%. And I've personally seen so many of those shorts where it's like, I just replaced my entire sales team with AI. I just fired all my receptionists with AI. It's like, as soon as they get on the phone with you, and I've heard this across the board, as soon as they get on the phone with you and hear it's AI, they're done. It's like talking to a robot a couple years ago where it's like, click this button to talk with someone, and they just hung up. And I still see that happening. But how aggressive should roofing companies be about getting reviews? Because I've seen great results for LSA. Like, if you just get more reviews, what are some tips to get more reviews for their roofing company?
That's a good question, because we actually do this for roofing companies. Kind of a plug for us, guys. The Roofing Marketer does this. If you're watching, just kidding. So what we do is this: when a roofer finishes a job, that gets a certain state in their CRM. It could be job name, could be AccuLinks, or whatever they're using. It gets to a certain stage, like paid state or invoiced or whatever. So they already know that this job is completed, whether it's a repair, replacement, whatever it may be. Now, what we want to do is send a text message to the customer asking them about their experience. We don't ask them for their review because that's kind of a little bit intrusive. Once they have given us a rating, which is usually 1 to 5, and again, this is all automated, then they get the review request because now they're satisfied with the service. So you always want to ask the customer about how their experience was before you go ahead and ask them for a review. So this is 100% automated, and the system actually picks up where it left off. So it keeps asking them for their rating. So that can exponentially increase the review count. Also, what it can do, this is an application of AI, is the AI can go in and now answer the review for you automatically based on the avatar that you have created or the type of tonality in that person's review. So, we're doing that already, but the reviews are obviously very important because of 2 reasons. 1, trust factor. 2, direct impact on your SEO, direct impact on your LSA ads, just like you were saying.
Now, if you had to bet on what's coming in the end of 2026, because we got 6 more months until the year is over, what do you see coming in the next year for marketing for home service businesses? Because I feel like the market is getting a lot more sophisticated right now. I say that because I see a lot of people still offering free quotes, or they don't have follow-up processes. They don't have very much sophistication in their software. Do you see a shift towards consolidation and sophistication, or what are you seeing?
Some of the things that are already happening, for example, is nobody cares about free inspections anymore. They care about getting to know the information before they make a decision, so they can do research, so they can call you or do their due diligence. So a tool that we use a lot is an instant quotation tools, which is like a widget, a third-party integration that basically takes satellite imagery, and based on the imagery, it measures the slope, the angles, the squares on the roof, and then it gives you an instant estimate quotation. I think this is going to get more and more accurate in the next 6 months or a year, because these systems will evolve and begin to become more advanced. So I think giving people more information right from the comfort of their beds, their couches, their homes, instead of having them jump through hoops is going to be key, because the easier you make it for your audience, for your target customer, the easier they're going to want to respond. The social media aspect, so like a lot of companies I've noticed, not a lot, but a fair amount, they're starting to build out content, UGC content, user generated content with AI avatars. And it's getting scary good that you can't even tell the difference, but it's not there yet, but it's getting really, really damn close. So like I've seen founders do videos next to roofs or even on top of roofs with their AI avatars, because it takes a lot of time to do content. There's a lot of agencies that do this. We actually started doing this recently too, where we're generating content with AI avatars, and you can't even tell the difference. This is going to get more and more common, because as people get busy, as they want more of their time back and they don't want to be out in the field just shooting all day doing things, they're going to want to switch to AI generated content that looks like them but isn't them, but then does the same thing. So this is going to be the new normal very soon.
You know, I'm in a lot of groups because we do a lot more pay per lead, and I see all sorts of, you know, from black hat angles where it's like someone pretending like it's a senator saying something, and it's getting good, but I feel like it's there yet, but it's not, because I feel like people can still really tell when it's AI, and they automatically start commenting AI, and they get upset. I don't think we're there yet, but that's an interesting prediction. I do see that coming though.
We're not there yet. Absolutely not. We're not there yet for two reasons. One, I don't know if you know this, every time we use AI, we're actually polluting the environment for one, and it uses tremendous amount of energy because it's servers, its infrastructure, and the output creates a lot of heat, and that heat has to be cooled. That uses water to cool the systems, right? So we are using a lot of power to generate the results right now, because the AI engines or the AI systems are not at that capacity where the cost of that is going to be very, very low. Even to build AI movies, AI content right now, it's kind of expensive, and that's why people are not using it as much, because it's going to cost you money every time you generate a video. But that is going to get better as the models improve. So in the next couple of years, you'll see there's going to be a drastic improvement in models, which is going to be making it difficult to spot reality versus AI. And you're right, you know, you can spot because you're looking for those types of abnormalities right now, because you know it exists. There's a couple of movies that I was watching. There's a tool called Higgsfield AI, very popular. So in Higgsfield, you'll start to see some movies that they've built, and it is damn near to reality. You can't even tell the difference. But obviously these are experts. They built the tool, so they obviously are promoting that. But once we get to that stage where we are not able to tell the difference, man, imagine that day. You just be sitting on your couch sipping coffee, and the AI is making content for you, and it looks exactly like you.
That's like a really sad dystopian future, but I know old people can't really tell. So like for some of your target market, if you're targeting seniors, maybe they won't be able to tell.
Yeah, I mean, it is a sad dystopian future, but I mean, unless governments regulate the usage of AI, I think I heard this somewhere, I don't know if it's true, but you have to declare that this is made with AI or they won't run it. That's the silver lining. I don't know. Technology is going to keep improving, evolving. It's going to be very difficult to just like put a stop to the evolution of tech unless the world ends and then we don't exist and then we reprocreate again. I mean, it's going to happen. It's not going to happen right away, but if you think that this is never going to happen, that is a fallacy and you're living a fool's dream. It is not a matter of if it will happen. It is a matter of when it will happen, because it will happen.
Not only that, I would warn against relying on AI for right now, just because all the tokens are so subsidized. I don't know if some people know this, but if you look this up, actually all AI tokens are incredibly subsidized. Your $20 a month Claude subscription should be more like $200 a month. So don't rely on it too much. That's my recommendation. It's coming soon. But I really don't think it's going to take over a lot of marketing, because I know some people are like, why would you get into marketing? Like AI is going to take that over. Like Meta just recently released an AI connector. So you can now connect Claude to your ads manager so it could just start doing its thing. They released that like a couple days ago. And Mark Zuckerberg, he was like, you can just plug your card in and you're going to just start getting leads and it's going to work. I just don't see that coming soon ever, because if everyone's using the same AI, how are you going to be better than your competition? How are you going to be more creative? I just don't see that, but I do see a huge shift towards creative strategists.
I'll tell you something. So if we want to take a step back from just the whole AI revolution thing and just talk about Facebook for a second, Facebook hasn't really made massive changes to his platform in the last 15 years. They haven't been big. So I would be skeptical. Like, you haven't even improved the platform that much. Like, it's still the same old marketplace. It's the same old groups. Think about it. Facebook is not just ads. It's marketplace. It's groups. It's communities. It's your profile. It's your business page. Like, there's so many things. So they've built Facebook into a monster, which is why people use it and why it's so hard to get off of it. Facebook is, no comparison to Snapchat or TikTok or some, because you have to build the infrastructure. And they built the infrastructure very early on. They saw this. So now it's very difficult to not be on it. You're dependent on Facebook. I get it. But for AI to take over all your campaigns, I'd be totally skeptical. It takes time.
Yeah. And Meta Andromeda update was kind of big. Like, there's this whole like talk about how your ads enter this field more, it looks like this person or whatever, it gets connected to them. So that's like advanced media buying stuff that I honestly don't think is that important right now. Honestly, to switch back to roofers, what do you think a roofing company should be spending if they're in between that $2 to $10 million a year range?
After doing this for almost 3 years now and working with roofers in many different markets across the country, work with over 100 roofers, I will tell you this, that the amount spent on marketing drastically varies by markets, the size and scale of the business, what stage they're at in terms of scaling. So I have clients that spend $10,000 to $15,000 a month on marketing every single month. I have clients that spend $20,000, $30,000 a month, bigger companies that have multiple locations. I have companies that spend $5,000 a month, $3,000 a month. So it really depends on the company and where they're at. The thing is, if you're running Google Ads, for example, a roofer in Boston or near Boston will have different click-through rates and cost per click than a roofer in, let's say, Florida, the second largest roofing market in the country after Texas. So it varies massively based on the location and based on the scale of the business. If I were to give you a more blanket answer, I would say that if you're in roofing, if you're not spending at least $4,000 to $5,000 a month on marketing, I saw someone comment the other day. It was basically them saying that they bought leads from a company that they lost like $1,200. I'm like, this guy's not even serious. Like, okay, so you bought a lead.
Oh, I saw that. I saw your comment on that.
So who are you kidding? Yeah, $1,200. I mean, $1 is expensive, $5 expensive. To put this into context, if you sell a roof, I've talked to enough roofers to know this. If you sell a roof, you're gonna make at the bare minimum $3,500 to about $10,000, depending on the size of the roof, right? If you sell a $12,000 roof, you're probably coming in at about $3-4 in profit. Having said that, I think roofers are to blame for this, and guys, don't hate me for saying this. Roofers are spoiled in some cases, not all, but some roofers are so spoiled because they have gotten clients just from referrals, so they haven't built a pipeline of leads. So they just think that, oh, well, I don't have to pay for leads, it's coming from referrals. Well, those referrals are coming from the fact that you've built a brand, built a business, built connections, and that takes time, and time costs money. So that's not free either. Yes, you're not paying for it right now, but you did pay for it. But in all honesty, some of these roofers have never really scaled past maybe 500,000 or $1 million. And you can get to $1 million valuation by just doing some door knocking, some referrals, and you'll get to that. I mean, that's like literally like 6 roofs a month, like 6 roofs, dude, like in a month, and you'll get to $1 million because the roofs are $20,000, $25,000 worth, or $15,000, $20,000. So that's 6 roofs. That's $100,000 a month. 100,000 times 12. That's $1.2 million revenue. Easy math. Anybody can get to that. Not a problem in the roofing business anyway. So for you to think that you would spend $1,000, $1,500 and make hundreds and thousands of dollars with that investment is, quite frankly, foolish. Also an injustice to your expectation set, because the world doesn't work like that. You got to spend some money. You got to put some skin in the game with the right people, with the right systems. Because I mean, obviously, I don't want to give anybody a bad name, but what I'm trying to say is that you can't just spend money to get the solution. You have to spend it in the right way with the right people, with the right systems. But if you do that, you will get the results, because then otherwise nobody would be advertising. The entire industry would be just like sitting on their butts and just be like, okay, well, comrade, let the referrals come in. I'll just sit on my throne and make sure like everything works out. No, it doesn't. You got to spend some money on marketing.
I remember seeing your comment on that one, and I know exactly what ad you're talking about. I know their company, and I know they work with some really large people. And I want to dive into like, what does a roofer have to do to see success? I yell on this whiteboard talking about like, this is what you need to do to see success, but you've worked with 100 people by now, like 100 companies. What do you see the companies who actually succeed, who actually stay with you in terms of like, they're starting to see success from it, and the people who are like, your leads suck. I'm not turning them into appointments. maintenance. It's like you're not even calling. So like, what do you see companies who are succeeding doing?
Companies who are succeeding have really good follow-up systems, really good salespeople, knowledgeable salespeople. I think one of the biggest challenge I see a lot of companies have, even bigger companies, they don't even freaking pick up the phone. This just blows my mind when I say this. I've talked to so many, 3 out of 5 maybe. So I'll ask this question, like, okay, so somebody calls you right now, somebody calls your office. How quickly will they get back to them? Most will say within a day. I'm like, are you kidding me? A day? What do you mean? Like, oh, maybe a couple hours. I'm like, that's a lead. That's someone waiting to give you thousands of dollars in your pocket. Like, why are you waiting? Well, I mean, this person has other things to do, and then they have to do the intake and then get back, call them back. And many times they don't even do that. So that is a problem. And even if they do call them back, like, they don't follow up. They're like, okay, well, they send a quote and then it's crickets. Like, you got to do better than that, because your competitors, people that are growing, they have systems built in place that are actually reminding your leads to engage back with you. And then you got to do content on top of that. If you're not doing that, well, that's another struggle, because nobody cares who you are. Nobody knows who you are. Nobody trusts you. You have zero digital footprint on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, even. Like, at least pick 2 channels. You can pick maybe Facebook and Instagram, and then, grow. So it is hard. You can't just be an operator in the business and expect it to grow. You have to be a business owner versus an operator, which a lot of roofers aren't. Like, they are in the business like day in, day out. They're just running the operations. They're like literally a glorified operations manager. That's not what's going to grow your business.
Yeah, across the board, if you do not have systems to consistently set leads and close them, don't bother hitting any of us up asking for marketing. Just don't do it. You're going to waste your money, and then you're going to hate us and be like, why are you wasting my money? I'm sorry, but I can't help. I can't fix a broken pipeline. It's sad, but it happens, and that's kind of the difference. I feel like it's not just like, oh, the PE companies are taking over. I just feel like there's a skill gap that's coming with a company who is sophisticated. They understand how to set up a setting process, which isn't that difficult, but they have like a level of sophistication that's just taking you out of the water, and it's not the PE companies. I think it's like a skill set thing. Well, now if someone wanted to reach out to you, Nazar, where can they find you, and who would be the best person to reach out?
So you guys can check us out at our website, theroofingmarketer.com, or you can check me out on LinkedIn. I'm the only Nazar on LinkedIn, so you should be able to find me pretty easily. We do have our social media channels on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, and TikTok as The Roofing Marketer, so you can check us out there. And then for my other business called Tegra Design, we also have the same social media channels, Tegra Design, so you can find me there as well. Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Of course, and I appreciate all of you guys staying around. I appreciate Nazar for coming on and spreading the value. And if you are looking to see more content like this, see more podcasts, me interview more operators and people really in the trenches, then click the subscribe button, and we're looking to see you soon.